Hello and welcome to the Quincy Access Television studios. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for joining me for In the Know, a program that basically helps you to stay informed. We tackle quite a few topics, and my guest today certainly has done multiple episodes of In the Know. It is the Sheriff of Norfolk County for a return visit. That would be Pat McDermott. Sheriff, welcome back.
Back in the seat, happy to be here. It's awesome. Where we're going, I don't know how many episodes we've done, but I know I've celebrated just a little over a year in the Sheriff's office, and we started right here at QATV getting the word out, so we appreciate it.
Great. And we do want to shout out to all those access centers throughout the county for continuing to air this program. We certainly appreciate that, as does the Sheriff.
Very much so. It's all great.
Today, the topic is springing forward. And as we kind of get into the program, we'll really pick up spring along the way.
Yes.
What we're going to start with is something that happens not only in the spring. It has been happening, I believe, since you became sheriff. It's something that you've incorporated into your platform, and that is Coffee with the Sheriff.
Coffee with the Sheriff. It's been a great program. We thought about it, as people were, we were in the middle of the winter, and it was, people aren't getting out and about. COVID was still kind of questionable. We hadn't really come through the pandemic yet, but we were trying to figure out a way that we could get out into the community and talk to residents one-on-one, just to hear about what their fears might be, what their ideas about public safety are. And so we came up with a great idea to kind of go out and support local business, publicize a local coffee shop or a diner, bakery, and it started to move. We take a momentum on it. So we go out 2 or 3 times a week. We pick a community, we pick a local business, and we visit with residents. We invite usually the local elected officials, the police chief, fire chief, sometimes the veteran servants agent, whoever might be interested, the council on aging director, and every coffee hour has been unique, and it's been great. We have some really fabulous ones, and I've learned a lot going forth across the county. As we try to look, I see there's a couple of pictures going up here now. I'm not sure where that one is.
This one is in Quincy.
Is that the Quincy one?
Because I recognize.
Oh, wait a second, that's the early American, right?
And I recognize Councilor David McCarthy in the corner.
Exactly.
So I know this is Quincy.
There
There will
go.
be a few photos coming up that we will share, that the sheriff will share with you. We started in Quincy. Here's another.
Yeah, this is a picture in Needham. Great bakery up in Needham. We had some great visits from our law enforcement partners there, as well as select board member Dan Matthews, and State Representative Sean Dooley was in the house as well. So it's been great. It really brings communities together, to come together and really make things happen. That was at the Toast office there, I believe, in Westwood. We had actually the woman on my right, the left of the screen there. She's proposing bringing back a beehive program at the jail. I guess she had a beehive program up there and teaching inmates on how to, run a beehiving operation and harvest honey. And so we're bringing her back on a contract to teach our inmates how to run a beehive. So
excellent.
It's all good.
There is some contact information regarding the Coffee with the Sheriff, and that will be on screen momentarily.
Great.
I suppose for folks to find out about where Coffee with the Sheriff is happening.
Yeah, and you can look at Norfolk Sheriff on all the social media fronts. It's also on our website at some point somewhere with the norfolksheriff.com/ I think coffee. And it's right on there. There it is, right in front of us. But yeah, you can come on, and what's great too is ever since we started this, we were targeting different places to go. Now we're having business owners calling us up saying, "Hey, want to come and have a cup of coffee with us?" So it has been a really rewarding experience, and we hope that people will come out, grab a cup of coffee. It's on me, and we look forward to having people there.
Maybe the only thing that changes from season to season is the iced versus hot.
Yes,
right?
So when we get into the summer months, I'm sure we're going to have some iced coffee lovers coming out there. So, yeah.
I work with some crazy folks that actually have iced coffee in the winter too.
Yeah, no need for that.
Did I say that? I'm sorry. Let's talk about the New England Wildlife Center and a graduation.
So we have had a partnership with New England Wildlife for 14 years. It was started by Sheriff Bellotti with a partnership down in Weymouth. So New England Wildlife Center is a a veterinary care clinic for wild animals. I took a tour there last summer during the pandemic, and we were able to see turtles and owls and falcons, lots of raccoons and squirrels, and even when I was there the other day, they brought a Canadian goose in because it had lead poisoning or something like that. So they take all kinds of animals, and they've helped bears, they've helped deers, skunks, doesn't matter. So we've had a partnership with them in teaching inmates about veterinary care, and it has been up until now for men. We've had mostly men go through the program. Well, in Norfolk County, although we don't have a women's facility within the jurisdiction of the county, our women serve their sentences in Suffolk County through a partnership with Sheriff Tompkins. So we identified 3 of our women inmates who would be interested in taking this program. It's a 6-week course at New England Wildlife Center, and they do a core curriculum in the mornings, and then they do practice in the afternoons. And they learn all kinds of things about biology, about hygiene, how to groom animals, and how to care for them and tend them back to health. After the 6-week program is over, each of the graduates receives a certificate in veterinary care, as well as an invitation to come back to work one day at the New England Wildlife Center. Once they've finished their sentence, they can come back and actually earn $120 working there. Really nice gesture on behalf of this graduating class of 3. The director of the Wildlife Center, they were so happy with the 3 women that graduated. They gave them 5 of those credits, so they're eligible to come back and work 5 days, up to $600, and they were very thrilled with that. And for me, it was a rewarding experience because I was able to talk with the women, and as much as they were excited about going through the program, getting their certificate, learning what they learned, each one of them said the same thing to me, was that the most important thing is that for the first time in a long time, they really felt hopeful about their future, that somebody actually cared about them enough to give them an opportunity. And that's part of the pillars that we ran on for this position: prevention, intervention, education, and that hope piece. So that gave me a little sense of accomplishment for our agency, that knowing we're changing lives one day at a time, and we're hoping that all 3 of our graduates, once they've finished their sentence, will take advantage of the opportunities that they learned at New England Wildlife.
And who knows, maybe someone will work there or volunteer there, take the course there, and then realize, I'd like to get into this field.
Yes. And that's the thing. They've been able to place students into pet grooming places, veterinary clinics, hospital labs, with labs that have animals for testing and things. They need somebody to care for those animals as well. So there's been a lot of success coming through that program. And they also have a special attention to people going through the program that are suffering from addiction. They sponsor AA meetings there. They have recovery coaches that come in, and so it's a really well-run, well-rounded program that we benefit from.
And I think without the education piece, without the hope, there's a likelihood of those inmates reoffending.
Right, and that's what we try to prevent. The bottom line is when somebody finishes their sentence, they need to leave our facility knowing there's a hopeful opportunity waiting for them. And then, I look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I mean, it really comes down to basic needs. People need a place to live. They need education. They need a job. And they need health care. And so we're looking at those basic needs for people, and those are the things. And hope, in general, gives everybody a chance to get out and make a better improvement for themselves.
As we switch gears, we will now be talking about drug confiscation. Talk about that. Talk about this find.
So we are constantly monitoring whether it's the mail or tips that we receive from informants, and it's a constant struggle to prevent contraband from coming into the facility, and specifically drugs. And it's an ongoing scheme, and there are those individuals that just want to violate and come in. And through various tips, we were able to uncover an individual who was coming into our facility, and we had credible evidence to believe that he was smuggling drugs into the facility. And so through the great staff that we have in terms of making sure the intake procedure was met, after several days we were able to have this inmate divulge what he had technically inside of him. And it was $14,000 worth of Suboxone strips. And that goes, those drugs are expensive inside the facility if they can get them inside. And we were fortunate and lucky with good investigative skills, the good cultivating of relationships that we have with our informants, that we were able to uncover this. And basically, there are men in our facility that are struggling day to day with addiction issues, and the last thing we need is any kind of substances being smuggled into the facility. So kudos to the corrections officers and the staff at the sheriff's office for getting this fine, and we're going to keep up on it.
Absolutely. We will talk next about a new unit that has been recently created. Probably, I don't know if this is the first place that you will announce it.
It pretty much is. We've been talking to our police chiefs about it, and so we're trying to go a little high tech in the sheriff's office, and we've developed a drone unit for the sheriff's office to be utilized throughout Norfolk County. And it's not as easy as just going by a drone and somebody that can use the controllers pretty well. It's a very sophisticated process that we've graduated 2 of our staff members. They've both been licensed through the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. You have to get licensed to be a pilot in the drone unit. We have a total of 4, I believe. 2 more staff are going through the program now. And we have 4 units, I think. We're getting up to 6. Of highly sophisticated machines that will help law enforcement on multiple issues. Certainly any kind of crowd control or any kind of major parade or event that we need to help with crowd management. Any kind of crisis issue. We've had suspects who have been barricaded themselves in, and rather than have officers go into a potential danger zone, we can get that drone unit into a house and actually go through the household, find the suspect, and be able to negotiate with the individual before any kind of tragic moment occurs. So,
I like that you said that, because a lot of times when people think of drones, they think of them being up in the air, up high,
yeah.
But they can maneuver
yes.
in lower areas like a house.
Yep, and we have a training center down in Braintree. We're going to have our MetroLEC team, which is the MetroLEC is a law enforcement council, a partnership of multiple law enforcement agencies. We're going to have a training down in Braintree, and we have a house on the Braintree campus, and we're going to use that house as a training vehicle for the drone. So we have a very small drone that you would send into a house to maneuver through to find the suspect. Once we identify where the suspect is, it gives law enforcement a better opportunity to negotiate safely with that individual and hopefully get them out of their barricaded situation. We've also used it for search and rescue with people that have either been lost in the woods, elderly patients who have dementia or Alzheimer's who get lost. We've utilized that, and it saves lives. It saves law enforcement lives, and avoids tragic moments. And I always echo back to what happened in Braintree last year. When they were responding to a domestic call, and 2 officers were shot and a canine was killed because a suspect laid in waiting in the woods and ambushed the officers when they arrived. Perhaps if we had the drone unit in place, we could have sent the drone in immediately, which would have prevented that tragedy from happening. So we're hoping that this is going to be, we know it's going to be a life-saving tool for law enforcement throughout Norfolk County. So we're excited about that, getting it going.
Absolutely. And changing gears yet again, we will be talking about a special sheriff, an appointment.
So every sheriff in the Commonwealth, the statute allows for the sheriff to appoint a special sheriff. The special sheriff's role predominantly is to serve in the sheriff's absence. I do a lot of traveling to various conferences and meetings of national sheriffs and major county sheriffs, FBI leader conferences and meetings. And so when I'm out of town, a special sheriff is appointed to represent me on a day-to-day basis and be my advocate locally. So my special sheriff that I've had up until recently, is retiring. And so I went to the bullpen. He's no stranger to the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office. He's an individual who I've known for 30 years and worked with in various capacities. And he's a Quincy resident, Chris Bell, who is the new special sheriff for Norfolk County. Long history of working at the State House, working in the private sector. Most recently, he worked in the sheriff's office in every capacity under the sun, under Sheriff Bellotti, but worked for Treasurer Tim Cahill up at the State House. And more recently, he served as the vice president at Quincy College and served on the Quincy College Board of Governors. So comes with an extensive background and experience, and he's somebody I have the utmost confidence is going to do so many great things for the people in Norfolk County. And he's already been on for 10 days, and he's already reshaping the organization with me.
Congratulations to Chris. I noted your choice of words, went to the bullpen, and thought to myself, okay, so that's a spring thing.
It is right there.
But Major League Baseball isn't quite there yet.
We're on hold, I guess, till at least the 18th of April. But we're hoping that cooler heads will prevail and the contract will be put in place, and we'll see Red Sox swinging the balls, bats and balls pretty soon.
So first COVID-19, now this.
Exactly. So
we're going to talk about the Youth Academy, a big program, a program that has gone on for several years. Actually, 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary this year.
So talk about the Youth Academy. We do have some photos that will follow. We do have a graphic that will come up for registration, because that is around the corner.
Okay, so this is a signature program that's been going, as you say, 20 years. This is our 20th anniversary. It is a youth leadership program that runs throughout the summer. It is a week. Each session is a week-long program, and we're able to bring, our camp participants are middle schoolers, 5th through 8th grade. They are led by peer counselors who are former campers who are now in high school, and those kids come back to volunteer their time with our campers. And then we also have college students who have been through the program that come back as our paid interns that actually run the program for us. So, and plus our adult staff as well. But this is the most successful thing I think that the Sheriff's Office does. Every year this program gets put up for registration. And last year, although we were limited last year, it happens every year. It sells out within 8 to 10 minutes tops online. And
it's like going to a concert or trying to get those concert tickets.
It's like trying to get concert tickets, and it's just a very well-run academy. We work with the kids on team building, on leadership skills. We talk about bullying. We talk about how to stick up for each other. So it's a really good, really great program. And the kids, what they really love to do too, and it's part of the team building, is we do our ropes course too. So anybody that's been down to our Braintree campus knows that we have a fully licensed ropes course, and it's fantastic. The kids love it, and it really produces a lot of fun times for the kids down there. And so we're going to be running that again. We're at 100% capacity this year, so we're reopening up for the whole year. We are also opening up, and I think it's already sold out. So as we're announcing this, it's already sold out. We're doing April vacation down there as well, coming up for the students in next month. But we're also opening up a Franklin Academy as well, down county. So some of the services are all heavy in the northern part of the county, and so I promised that we would be having a much more presence down in southern Norfolk County, and we're going to be opening up a course in Franklin this summer. So we're excited about that, to bring this program to the kids, the middle school kids around Norfolk County. It's a real big success. This is the 20th anniversary, so we're planning a special event. We don't have the date booked officially yet, but we've gone back in the archives, and we're finding all these former counselors, former campers, and we're going to have a celebration down in Braintree sometime this summer.
You're going to put them on the ropes course?
We're going to put them back in the ropes course, see if they remember what they learned.
Very good.
And some of these people who graduated, they have kids now that are coming back in their campers, so it's 20 years later.
Nice.
So.
Very nice. A dog naming competition. You have to tell me about this one.
So the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office has, for many years, we have a canine unit. And mostly we've had patrol dogs, drug dogs, gun dogs, that go on the searches. So we are in the process now, however, of hiring a therapy dog. Some people call it a comfort dog. These dogs are very highly trained to bring calm and help people who either have high anxiety or if there's issues of tension within like one of our housing units. It's amazing the magic that a dog can provide. But they do go through extensive training. And we do have a dog that we've hired. He's going through extensive training. He's 7 months old. He's a golden lab. And he currently has a name, but we want to put it out to the residents of Norfolk County. Our kindergartners, hopefully, will do a little naming competition. And once they see this young pup, I'm sure that everybody will fall in love with him. We're looking to bring him out to our senior council on aging. He'll certainly be working within the jail itself with our inmate population, probably working down in programs with our education team. We'll bring them out to the schools and wherever necessary. And I think they're trained enough too to go to traumatic crisis moments. So if our Metrolec team needs our therapy dog to come out to a traumatic situation, whether a domestic violence or a tragic, crime scene, children are involved or elderly or anybody, the dog is trained to bring that calmness to them. So we're excited about having our new partner, our new employee, and we're looking forward to working them hard.
So again, just wondering, and maybe I missed it, regarding the competition, how will folks get to submit their name?
So I believe we're going to be targeting our kindergarten population around Norfolk County, and I know there's like a lot of them around, so we're going to be figuring out how to do that. We have to, I'm going to leave that up to our staff to determine that, but I'm sure there's going to be some kind of online submission that will done that. And we'll probably have to come up with a prize, of course. It's not good enough to win the naming of the dog. We'll probably come up with some kind of prize structure for maybe the class, whoever gets the naming will get a pizza party or something like that. So
then, of course, you'd have to come back in the studio once the dog is named.
Yep.
and tell us all.
Well, we'll introduce you to him.
Even better.
So
absolutely, even better.
Yep.
Next, let's talk about running teams and golf foursomes.
So one of the things that is emphasized as I've gone throughout my training over the last year is officer wellness, and certainly community building and morale. And so, it's a very difficult life inside the facility. It's highly stressful, and corrections officers, there's a lot of stress, anxiety, depression issues. So I want to promote officer fitness in a way that we also promote community involvement as well. So we've got a team of corrections officers and staff members that are runners. And so we said, well, why don't we start a running team in the sheriff's office? And then, so one of the other staff members said, geez, there's a run coming up in Quincy with Interfaith Social Services, about addiction, Stop the Stigma. And so, geez, so the idea started germinating in our head and say, all right, let's start putting together a team. So I think we're up to almost 30 members of the staff and family members, and we're going to be putting it out to the public as well. Anybody that wants to join the Norfolk County Sheriff's running team, what we want to do is we will raise money for local charities. There's plenty of those road races around, the 5Ks, 10K road races, but we want to send participants in. It's a good boost for morale for our officers. It promotes wellness, and then it also promotes the local cause that we're trying to help out with. And so that running team is up and running.
Very good, very good.
We're looking to build it out.
Pun intended.
Exactly. We want to get, we'll find people once they register for the team, what their shirt size is. We'll get the Norfolk County Sheriff's running team logo in place, and you'll be part of the team. So we're hoping to get that up. We're also, but that expanded too to other things, because people started saying, well, I'm not a runner. And somebody jokingly said, well, geez, I like playing golf. I said, well, there's a lot of charitable golf tournaments that go on around the county as well. And so we're going to be putting together a golf team. Men and women that want to go out and represent the sheriff's office in the community at these various charitable golf tournaments. And so I said, well, look, for myself, because I get selfish a little bit, so I said, well, I'm not a runner, definitely not a runner. I can.
You do bike.
I can kind of, well, that's where I'm going, man.
Okay.
So I barely play golf. I'm okay at it, but I haven't played in over a year. But I do ride a bicycle, and for 31 years I've biked in the Pan Mass Challenge every summer, a 200-mile bike ride across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to benefit the Jimmy Fund and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And I've done that in memory of my mother every year, who I lost in 1989 to cancer. And so we started thinking about it and said, well, why don't we put together a bike team? And so we are putting together a bicycle team for the Sheriff's Office, and we'll be training. I have signed up for the virtual Pan Mass Challenge this year because I'm not available that weekend. So a virtual reimagined ride means you can pick your own route if you design it. So we're in the process now of trying to design a 50 or 100-mile loop somewhere, probably. We'd like to do it out of Foxborough. Asking my good friend Mr. Kraft down at Gillette Stadium if he would help us stage the starting and finish line in Foxborough, and then create a route, kind of a tour of Norfolk County to the various towns, maybe a 50-mile, maybe 25, 50, and 100-mile loop, and raise money for the Pan Mass Challenge and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And there's other charitable rides as well that we'd participate in. But once again, it's about officer wellness. It's about mental health. It's about community building. And this is a way for the Sheriff's Office to have daily interaction and constant interaction with our member towns and the various charitable causes around the county.
We just have 3 minutes left, I believe. I do want to promote, or have you promote, the Are You OK program.
Yes, so today I spent the morning in Medfield, and I just sang a little Irish song down at the Braintree Council on Aging, and then I was at Holbrook as well. But we are promoting now actively, now that the councils on aging are really back in place. It gives us an opportunity to talk about our senior programs, and our signature program is the Are You OK program, which is a daily phone call that an individual sign up for. It's an automated phone call that an individual says, have me on the list for 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. We call every day to make sure that that individual is okay, that they're up and about and they're functioning. When we don't receive a positive phone call back, we initiate a subsequent direct call to that individual. It happens rapidly. If we don't initiate a live interaction with the member, we then send out first responders to see what's going on. And we've had several saves over the last year. The program's been around for quite some time, and over the course of its lifespan, lives have been saved for this program. So we want to make sure that people sign up for that through the Sheriff's Office. It's 1-866. It was on the screen a second ago. There it is, 900-7865, which is Are You OK? And if you sign up on that, we will make sure that we get you signed up and ready to go.
And it's absolutely free.
Absolutely free, and we think that anybody that lives by themselves ought to take advantage of it. You don't have to be a senior either. Really, this is a program for anybody, especially if you live by yourself. God forbid, you fall down a set of stairs and you've broken your arm, anything could happen.
And it could be set for a limited time or
Yes.
always.
Yep, set for a limited time. If you have an elderly parent that lives by themselves and you're going to Aruba for 2 weeks and you want somebody that could check in, Sheriff's Office is happy to do that.
All right, very good. As always, a great program, I believe.
Goes by quick.
And not because I was hosting,
That's
but
good stuff.
because you were the guest. Thank you once again, and we will have you back probably within a month or so
Looking
to
forward
talk
to it.
more about the office.
More stuff going on.
And thank you at home for watching. Please continue to support local access television throughout the Commonwealth and throughout Norfolk County. We'll see you again soon.